everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you once again early in the morning from downtown Manila in the Philippines. And today I've got an awesome guest, and he's a wizard. You want to know what a wizard is, right? Okay. It's not this type of wizard, not this type with the magic wand. No, he's a different type of wizard. I'm going to show you in a minute. Right. Let's have a look. I've got to bring him up here on my little trusty little iPad. His name is Paul Statton. And Paul is a healing wizard out of a place called Melbourne in downtown Australia, where I came from, guys. I left a long time ago, but it's a great place. Company name, Lighthouse for the Soul. Industry, healing. And many of you out there need healing. Some of you don't even know you need healing. So all you freebie seekers out there, what you do, reach out to Paul, have a virtual cup of coffee. Remember, it costs you nothing to have a virtual cup of coffee, and see what he might be able to do for you or your loved one or anyone else for that matter. And I guarantee you, with 30 years experience, if he doesn't know, he'll know someone who can help you. So there's the invitation, guys. Reach out. Costs you nothing to reach out, right? Help people to know how to self-heal and reconnect with their authentic selves. That's a secret, guys. Be yourself, be authentic. Everyone else is taken. Online school academy for life mastery. Worked in International Healing Center in Peru for 4 years with Amazon shamans. Written 8 books on healing and learning, help people heal from 50 different countries, train holistic healers, joint venture program to help people overcome family trauma, personal motto philosophy, know yourself, be yourself, share yourself. I like that one. Interesting fact, magical play with words, telepathic, psychic, talking to kids coming to the planet and people who have crossed over. So my great pleasure to welcome to the stage, Paul. How are you, Paul? How's Melbourne today? Is it sunny or wet? Which one?
It's actually sunny here in Melbourne. It is winter, but
must be the morning. I'll come back in the afternoon when it's wet.
Yeah. There's a joke in Melbourne: if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, it changes, guys.
Jeff, thanks for inviting me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here.
No trouble. It's my great pleasure, my friend. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you all those years ago to be a wizard. What happened?
Well, when I was a kid, I thought I was quite magical. I felt like Harry Potter living in a muggle's world, because no one in my family was magical. So what I did is what a lot of people do, is try and fit into the world, but that never worked for me. Mm-hmm. Then what we do is we tend to have an emergency, and I like to play with the words. If you look at the word emergency, emerge and see, mm-hmm. right? In other words, you wake up. Mm. My emergency was one of my best friends almost died in a car accident in 1996. And when I went and saw him in hospital, I freaked out because I thought he was going to die. And that made me really question my own life. And I thought, sure, I really want to learn how to heal myself. So from that, I did a lot of study on energy and consciousness. Mm-hmm. And I don't go to Western doctors because I know how to heal myself. So what my expertise is, and why I'm called the healing wizard, because I help a lot of people know how to access their own energy to heal themselves. No pills, no doctors, no unnecessary surgery. Because in a way, to look at holistic healing, it's all about energy. And if you don't look at it from an energetic perspective, you're not looking at it from a total perspective. Yeah. If you understand how to connect to your body, in a way, your body to me is like a dashboard, Jeff. I call it a dashboard. Like if you look at a dashboard in a plane, what does it do? Well, it tells you if anything's going wrong, right? Yeah. In the plane. Well, that's what your body does. Your body is actually like your health dashboard. And if something's not quite right, well, you get a symptom. That's right. To me, every symptom in your body is an indicator that you're blocking yourself. So what energy healers do is it's learning how to connect to your own body, mm-hmm. and then learn the message, and then you can clear it.
That's awesome. I like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like to empower people. I'm not like a psychiatrist and you come to me for 4 years. That's why they're called shrinks, because they shrink your bank balance, right? Is I help people know how to do that themselves. But generally, most people aren't connected to their bodies because they think too much in their heads, right? Yeah. But I train people how to connect to their own body, mm-hmm. how to pick up the messages so the body's telling them what they change they need to do, which is about letting go of limiting thoughts about themselves, right? Yeah. All illnesses are caused by limiting thoughts.
Absolutely.
Nothing is just created at a physical level.
We're taught wrong. We're taught shut up, be seen, not heard when we were a kid. So when you get to be an adult, a lot of you are too frightened to express yourself because it goes back to the dark old days when you're told to shut up. right?
And therefore, that's going to show as a symptom in your body as a sore throat. You're going to have throat problems, right?
Yeah.
Because different parts of the body reflect different consciousness. So if you've got a throat issue, I can guarantee you've got an issue about expressing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you get headaches, it's because you're blocking your intuition, your third eye.
Yeah.
If you're blocking it, if you've got problems with your stomach, it's all about you're not in your power, right? Like I had this little girl, she had all these allergies, and they tried to work out what was wrong with her from a nutritional perspective. And when her mum brought her, I said, she isn't allergic to food. She's allergic to you because you're controlling her.
Yes.
So when I changed the relationship between the mother and the daughter, all her allergies went away in 1 month.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Because your stomach area is about power.
Yeah. Tell me, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work and how are you overcoming that along the way?
Probably the most challenging thing is people who aren't quite ready to heal. They think they're ready, but they're not. Right. And you can't help people.
That's right. Who won't help themselves. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And sometimes people come to you and go, "Oh, I've been to nine healers and it doesn't work." And I said, "No, you're not ready to heal."
Yeah, that's right.
But if people are open to healing, there's no challenges. Because
just have an open mind, guys. Everything's an open mind, guys. Just because you don't do A doesn't mean that you can't learn a bit about it and then open your mind a bit, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all you're taught at school is the old stuff. Open your mind a bit, right? Open your mind and learn every day. Tell us an important moment in your career where you pivoted and more or less changed direction. What happened?
I had this feeling, because I got a very strong intuition, right? I had a dream that I was going to live in the Amazon, right? And I thought, okay, I'm going to go to the Amazon. So, about 12 years ago, I got this, I've got to go now.
Awesome.
So what I did, I left it, I went to the Amazon, and people said, "Oh, I've got nothing planned. I'm just going to go there," right?
Fantastic.
And I heard a lot about plant medicine. So I ended up meeting some shamans in the Amazon jungle.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. The day I rolled up at this center, the shaman done his back in. So the owner asked me, "Well, can you help the shaman?" And after one session, he could put his hands on the ground. So the owner said, "We'd like you to work at our place." So I ended up working there for 4 years.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, what is a shaman? Is a shaman from the old days, like a witch doctor, or what's a shaman?
So what they mean by a shaman is, it's really based on ancient history, but they believe that all illnesses caused by blocking the soul.
Nice.
In other words, who you are, right? Yeah. Now, the shamans in the Amazon, there's different shamans around the world, but the shamans in the Amazon jungle, they work with plants, right? Therefore, what they do is they do ceremonies with plants. And what the plants do is open up your consciousness.
That's awesome, yeah.
So that you can connect to your stuff. And I really like it because they say to you, the plants don't heal you. They just open you up so you can heal yourself.
Yeah, interesting about that. My house laugh. My house was full of bloody plants. There's more plants than anything else in my house. And in the bedroom, I read this years ago, just by sheer luck, right? I went and bought a shitload of snake plants, put under my window. And apparently these snake plants, they help produce, they pull in carbon monoxide and push out oxygen, stuff like that. So plants are fantastic, guys. Look up. To have a chat to Paul about this, but plants are bloody awesome, guys. And they cost you bugger all. Get some nice plants in your home. It'll look good. They'll help you feel good.
And like in the Amazon jungle with shamans, because there's plants everywhere.
Yeah.
And because they do a lot of training, they do a lot of diet for different plants. And I can tell you, they know all the properties of all the plants. And if you've got a particular ailment, they'll say, "Oh, you need to take this plant." Right?
Yes.
It's really. But if we take all the plants where we live locally, so like I live in Australia, and like eucalyptus is a powerful plant.
Very, very.
Yeah. So if you take the local plants, which can be used as medicine, because we know all pills from doctors are poisonous, but if you take natural plants, they can help you connect to the energy to help you heal yourself. They don't heal you, but they can help you connect with the energy to heal.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, people watching this podcast and say, "Oh, I knew marijuana was good."
Well, the famous plant, as you know, in California, it's legal, but in Peru, the most famous plant is probably it's called ayahuasca,
Mm.
which is illegal to take around in most countries in the world because it works. It's a really, really powerful plant, right?
Paul's been telling us about the powers of eucalyptus, and on you go from there, Paul.
Okay, so you mentioned marijuana, and that just reminds me of the power of plants. They help us heal. I like the word tremendous, like tremendous, right?
Mm.
I working with the shamans in the Amazon jungle for 4 years. They work with a lot of plants, and of course, the Amazon has a lot of plants that they use, and the main one is ayahuasca. And the idea of these plants is they connect you to a certain energy, which enables you to heal. They don't heal you, but they help you connect to energies that enable you to heal.
Mm. Awesome, awesome. And how'd you find all that, Paul? How was your 4 years there? You have a good time? Learned a lot?
It was amazing because these shamans, they know so much about healing. Like they can
Yes.
connect to people in ceremonies and they empower people. Like even in ceremonies, people go through some dramatic stuff, right? Because a lot of the plants open up people to trauma that's been suppressed. But the
Mm.
shamans allow them to go through that to help them know how to clear that trauma so that they um, can heal.
Yes. Funny as you mentioned this, because all the different areas of life, trouble with us, we're too narrow-minded, guys. You're going to school, you're still learning from books 100 years old, right? Haven't developed, and all these different tribes have got things. Even our own, and you know this, Paul. Even our own Aborigines, if you went out and lived with them for 6 months, the real ones back in where they
Yeah, yeah.
are, you would learn so much because they've survived all those years and they survived on their little things that they know. They can
Well,
they can
as you
they
know,
can look, they can look at the sky
well,
and see these things.
the Australian Indigenous are one of the oldest cultures in the world.
Yes,
And see a lot, and similar to the shamans in the Amazon jungle, these people know a lot about how to heal. Because people talk about traditional medicine being Western medicine. Western medicine is not traditional. It's only been around for a
correct.
couple of
It's
hundred
man
years.
it's man-made
But
to make a
traditional,
profit. I call it rocks. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, totally. And and it doesn't actually help people. If you look at the old ways, it actually helps people heal totally,
yeah,
based on energy and based on connecting to your soul. And it's deep holistic healing, not just surface looking at symptoms and in most cases covering up symptoms.
yeah. I'm an old man, Paul, 77, and I've just got what I call common sense. My go-tos, I'm having one right now as we're on the screen. My go-tos are chicken soup, right? Water, sunshine, and movement. They're my go-tos. They won't fix a broken leg. I'll tell you what, guys, I'll fix most other things. You'll be fairly healthy. The chicken soup's full of collagen, et cetera, et cetera. And then the
Yeah.
water speaks for itself. Good quality water speaks for itself. Um, Vitamin D, you need the sunshine and the air and the movement. Well, that speaks for itself as well. If you keep moving, you won't be stiff, and you won't need WD-40,
But of
right?
course, there's another important thing which affects your state, and that is what you believe in your thoughts.
Yeah,
Because from my
absolutely.
understanding, working with healing in the last 30 years, work with people from 50 different countries, all illness in the body, all illness is caused by people holding on to limiting thoughts.
Yeah,
And if they let go of those limiting thoughts, they can heal. And I'll give you an example. Like I had a lady with multiple sclerosis, MS.
yeah.
Now she was on crutches, right?
Wow.
Now, when she came and saw me, I connected to her and I said, no, she's got a limiting belief that she's lost control of her body.
Hmm.
And I said, that happened 7 years ago. That was my intuition. And when she told me 7 years ago she gave birth, and she said there's complications in the birth process, and she felt she lost control of her body. So when I changed that and said, look, let's change that belief and get you to be in control of your body, connect to your body, in 2 days, Jeff, and 2 days later, she walked into my healing center, literally, no crutches in 2 days.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Unbelievable, eh? Yeah. It's all
That's a power, that's a power of healing. Yeah.
yeah, well, the mind is so powerful. Don't get me wrong, guys. You can't just wish yourself better. You got to take
No.
some sort of actions. However, and have an open mind, guys. And then, like I said earlier, I call all these. I may be right, I may be wrong, guys. All these vitamin pills on the market, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've always called them rocks because and they're like a bloody rock. And I say, how do I know this rock's any good for me, right? And they're not cheap rocks either. And sometimes I'm a bit cynical. Sometimes it's a bloody doctor's job to keep you sick, guys. So you keep the old subscription model where you keep on coming back and buying and buying and buying and buying, and you put up with it for 30 years.
Yeah. Totally. Because if you really understand illness and healing, nothing outside of you can heal you. Now, as you said, you might take chicken soup and all that sort of stuff, which is good to keep you in a certain vibration, but it doesn't heal you.
Yes.
There's only one way to heal, and you've got to let go of those limiting thoughts, which usually come from trauma. And once people let go of those limiting thoughts, and I can tell you, I've helped people overcome cancer, MS, tumors, anything by letting go of limiting thoughts.
Yeah. Paul, back to you again. How do you stay motivated, Paul, and continue to innovate in your field? What's your secret there?
Well, when you get up every day, Jeff, and you're inspired by helping people, then it's very easy to keep motivated because you know you're making a major contribution to the world by helping people heal. Like, I'll give an example. I had a 7-year-old who came to me and she had all these allergies and no doctors could work out what was going on. But what I worked out is she was actually allergic to her mother because her mother was controlling her. Now, when I changed that relationship between her and her mother, all her allergies went away in 1 month.
There you go.
Do you reckon that was a major change in her life?
Yeah.
That's what motivates me because I know I can help people make a major change in their life.
Yeah. Tell us amongst your many, Paul, tell us a recent project or achievement that you're particularly proud of, my friend.
Okay, so what I'm involving in the project at the moment is I'm working with one of my graduates, and we're helping people overcome family trauma, right? Because a lot of people's limiting beliefs often come from living in the family.
Yeah.
Now, we were working with a lady, she got sexually abused as a child. She wasn't allowed to talk about it, so she had issues about expressing herself. She was very angry to her family, especially her uncle, right?
Yeah.
Now, help dealing with and her understanding the family trauma and understanding what she can learn from it. Within a couple of months, she actually totally accepted herself. She's got into her power, learned the lessons from why she was being abused, and now she's out in the world sharing her voice about what she learned from that experience and empowering other women. Now, that's amazing experience. And helping people overcoming family trauma is one of the projects I'm working
sadly,
on right now.
Paul, we're older gentlemen. That was very, very, very common in our day. And if you were a kid and you raised your hand and said, "Oh, I was sexually abused," you'd probably get bashed up because no one believed you. That was always even the adults wanted to bury it. Right? It wasn't
that's totally because I don't know. Totally, and that was her issue. The family didn't want to deal with it because they didn't want to face it.
Yes.
And you can imagine what it's like as a little girl being abused by someone
constantly
who you trust, like your uncle. You go, what? I mean, that's very dramatic.
Yeah, and like I say, it was more common than what people realise, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us, a 20-year-old comes to you, Paul, might be a son, a daughter, a niece, or a nephew, and says, "Paul, I just left school. What should I do with myself?" They're a bit lost. What would your advice be?
That's a great question. Find out who you are and what your passions are, and actually give yourself the permission to follow your dream of what is your really. Because I believe, Jeff, that we're all special souls and we've all got a purpose.
Yeah.
And once you find that by knowing, and you do that by connecting to your authentic self.
Yeah.
Because I found for me, healing was mine. Right. And when I found that, as I talked about before, I'm very motivated. So to me, it's about finding out what you're really passionate about, believing that you can make money from it, and stop being a slave in the system, working long hours for other people in jobs you don't like to buy things you don't need.
Yeah, that's a good one. Buy things you don't need. I laugh. I tell people this all the time. My American clients, they'll tell me, "Oh, I feel miserable. One of my 4 TVs is broken." And here I am over in the Philippines, and there's people with one leg sleeping on a cardboard box at night, laughing and smiling every day and haven't got a care in the world, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a
And
mindset.
I've been to a lot of those countries as well. So I went to Thailand, and it really
Yes,
opened my eyes to see all these
absolutely.
people. They're actually happy, but they've actually physically got nothing. Because I
Yes,
think that the point that you bring up, Jeff, is a lot of people look at their self-worth through
yep,
external things. How
yep.
much money they have. Do they have they got a house? Have they got a relation? Now it's good. It's nice having those things, but if you define yourself by them, and then if you haven't got them or they're not working, then you're going to be
Absolutely.
depressed. So
And I tell
define
people,
yourself by your inner worth. Yeah,
yeah, I've been rich most of my life, Paul, by hard work. And I tell people, it doesn't matter about the money. If I sit down with a multimillionaire, we're only going to have one steak and three or four beers. How many steaks and beers can you have? How much money do you
yes,
really need?
totally.
Right? You
No,
know,
absolutely right.
and these people who buy the $1 million properties, I say go and rent them and live in different multi-million dollar properties, right? I'll never buy
Yeah,
another
totally.
property as long as I live. I've woke up, that's why I left 14 years ago because I did wake up, right? Tell
Yeah.
me, Paul, you got some awesome advice. Looking ahead, you're at base camp, you're climbing that mountain all the time. What are you going to be doing in the future? What are your dreams and aspirations?
Great question. Because I know I'm making a major contribution at the moment. Like I've helped people heal from 50 different countries.
Yeah,
One of the legacies I want to leave is creating an online course which kids can do when they're young to understand life. Because
nice.
most kids don't understand life and they're not taught about energy and they're not taught about how life really works. So my part of my passion, my legacy, is to have an online school where kids can come on and learn and understand the reality of life and not all the nonsense they're taught at school
Right. Yeah.
and not understanding how to master life. That's why, Australia had the highest
Oh,
suicide rate for teenagers in the world at one stage.
that's horrible. Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I get on my bandwagon now. I say at school, why didn't they give everybody a bloody money box when they were 6 or 8 and say, start, this is about wealth, how to save and make money, and those who will, they will, and those who won't, don't. And also, why don't they teach about health, right? You know,
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
oh, honest to God. And then it's so easy to do, get people out there going around, I said to you earlier, Paul, they're using bloody 100-year-old books and the same old bloody systems over and over and over and over again. And they're just turning out bloody robots, you know, you know,
So, so therefore, I believe, humanity's going through a major change right now
yes,
because there's a lot of nonsense going on in the world. And I feel it's understanding change. And that's why healing is one of the fastest growing industries in the world because people are looking at how to change.
yes,
So the other recommendation I have for people is not go for it, be a job, but be an entrepreneur. And that's what I do with healers. I train them to be entrepreneurs, not to be slaved by time, but
yeah,
knowing how to create valuable things like online courses, which they can value at 4 or 5 thousand at least. So
yes.
they're not slaving, working long
That's
hours,
right.
so they can actually enjoy life,
Yeah, and then
right?
pass on the knowledge. One of my guests, Paul,
Pass on their knowledge, pass on their knowledge and wisdom, have fun doing it, not working long hours so you can go out and do things that you really love to do.
yeah. Here's something I learned just a few hours ago from another guest, guys. This is going to blow your mind. He talked about AI. I mean, everyone's on the AI bandwagon. You got to learn a bit about AI, guys, but you don't have to absorb you, but got to learn a little bit, right? Anyway, he's talking about AI, and he said, Jeff, the future is going to be HI, right? And I said, HI? He said, yes, Jeff, human intelligence. And I thought to myself, how right you are, my friend. How right you are. Because everyone just goes to Google.
Actually,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to add. I'm going to add above that. To me, it's DI. It's divine intelligence, which is actually it's bigger than human intelligence. Because
Yeah,
human intelligence, we just talk about humanity, but if we look at the divine intelligence, and which is talking about the whole universe and how everything
yeah,
works, that intelligence is the highest intelligence you can have.
yeah,
That's bigger than AI, which I call authentic intelligence,
yeah, yeah,
inauthentic
absolutely.
intelligence.
Open
Yeah,
up your minds, guys. Open up your minds, right?
totally. Yeah.
And then another guest told me something about 12 months ago, and I never forgot this one either. And it was so effing awesome. It should be the mantra for everyone in the world. And it was be a better human. And I thought, how bloody cool is that? It costs you nothing to smile or say, how's your day or good day, or,
Yeah.
you and I know, you speak to some people in the street or whatever, and you say, good day. They look at you like, what do you want? you know,
Well, if I had to share my philosophies about the world,
yeah,
I've got it 6 words because I
yeah,
like to make things simple, right? 6 words.
yeah. Tell
Know
me.
yourself, know
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
be yourself,
yeah.
share yourself.
Yeah, nice. I like that. I like that. I often joke with people. I haven't got a lot of friends. The older you get, you have less friends, guys. Trust me, you'll find that out. But
Yeah.
I often joke with people. The more I meet people, the more I like my dog because he, he always wags his tail. He's always happy to see me. He's genuine,
Well,
right? So he's real,
well,
right?
pe- I think a lot of people appreciate their pets more than more than humans.
Absolutely. Can't blame him, can we?
It's a big industry, the pet industry.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Um, Paul, it's an amazing podcast here that we're on. Can you tell people what's the best way to reach out and find about you, your amazing services, and how you can put people on the right track and get them thinking and open their minds up a bit? How can they contact you?
So what I'll do is I'll give you a link to my website. My
Yes.
business is called Lighthouse for the Soul, because in a way I'm a lighthouse, right?
Yeah.
I help people see where they're going so they don't hit the rocks.
Nice.
So I'll give you a link to my website,
Have
which
you
has
not sent
got
that already with your bio? Did we not already have that with your bio?
I probably have, but we can put
Make
that
sure you
link
do.
underneath this
Yeah.
wherever you put this video, right? And then in that website they can connect to my online school, which has got a lot of classes.
There you go,
They can
guys.
book an appointment. They can book an appointment with me if they want a particular healing session. And
Yeah.
there's a links to other services I offer. Look, I've got a Facebook group on self-healing, and there's a link to the talks I do. So go to my
Lot there.
website would
Yeah.
be the best advice.
And
Yeah,
Paul's a very generous soul, guys. Reach out, have a virtual cup of coffee. Just even if you
absolutely.
spend 5 minutes together, because he's a very interesting person and he knows a lot. So spend 5 minutes together. It could change the life for you or a loved one. So if you're serious about, helping yourself and helping others, reach out, have a cup of coffee, and then go from there. If Paul resonates with you, fantastic. If he doesn't, I guarantee you he knows someone who can help you. Right? He's done this for a long, long time. He knows a bit about it. It's what I call good old common sense stuff, right? And common sense, as we know, is not common. Paul, we're about to wrap it
No,
up.
no.
Before we do that, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people do not know.
A fun fact about myself.
Yeah, you're a yo-yo
Um,
champion
I
when you're
like
younger.
I like to play with magic a lot, so I like to do things differently, right? So
Right?
as an example, one of my girlfriends came around one day and we're going to a wedding, and like most women, they're late, right? She said, "Oh, we're
Yeah,
not going to make it to the wedding on time." I said, "No, we will." And what I did is I talked to the traffic lights.
yeah,
And I asked all the traffic lights to be green, and we caught 21 green traffic lights in a row. And we got to the church before the bride did, so therefore we were on time. So
there
to
you
me is, I don't live a normal life. I use my magic to create. Same thing is like if I'm going somewhere, I'll create a car park out the front,
yeah.
right
No,
out the front,
yeah,
right?
it's a
By
mindset.
intention.
That's amazing. But a lot of people go, "Oh, I'm not going to go up there. There wouldn't be a park up there." And I always say to them,
No,
"There would
totally.
be if you don't go up and have a look."
No, totally. So I
Yeah,
use my magic to create the life I want.
yeah,
That's my
I
secret.
like that. Yeah, you're like me. It's a mindset thing, Paul. It's an
It's
attitude and a mindset. And you and I are both very positive people. And guys, just turn the coin over, guys. You can be negative or positive. I tell people I'll be laughing on my deathbed. I'll be laughing and telling jokes, and people will go, "Oh, you shouldn't be like that." I said, "Oh, you want me to be miserable, do you?" I don't want to be miserable. I want to go out laughing. You know.
Yes, because we can always take a playful approach to everything in life, and I'm very similar to you. Like I love taking a playful look at
Yes,
life. It
absolutely.
makes it fun, irrespective of whatever happens. You can still be happy.
Absolutely. No one gets out alive, guys, so enjoy it, all right? Paul, you've been an awesome guest. Any
Uh,
last words for our wonderful audience?
Well, thanks a lot, Jeff, for inviting me on. It's been a wonder talking
No
to you, and
trouble.
it's been a lot of fun and playful. And I think my last message is remember those 6 words: know
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
know who you really are, be yourself, give yourself permission to be who you really want, and then share yourself, share your gifts with the world, because we're all here to help the world. And that's going to give
Absolutely.
you meaning and contribution,
Yeah,
and be motivated every single day to get up and make a difference and enjoy life.
yeah, you have an obligation, guys. God gave you a life. You have
That's
an obligation to help others. It's that simple. Thank you, Paul, for being on the show. You've been awesome, my friend.
it.